This is Greg Patterson with Arkansas Farm Bureau, and on this edition of Arkansas AgCast, we have a special guest, and it's Anna Mathis. And Anna's with FFA and is one of those few who got to be in the national office now for FFA, and you are the secretary, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me about that. You had to be thrilled. I did see the Facebook stuff and everybody was screaming and confetti was teaming down and stuff like that. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So that was probably one of the most crazy moments of my entire life. And I didn't even know that there was confetti until I was playing with it like 3 minutes later. So there was a lot going on in that moment and a lot leading up to that moment. I was a state officer last year. I retired in the summer and took about 3 weeks off before I jumped back into being the national officer candidate. So I've been steadily involved in the FFA since my freshman year in high school. I haven't really taken a break, and I have competed and worked all through up until as a state officer. And as a national officer candidate, I was making multiple phone calls a day. I was studying on our history, our organization's history, the programs that we offer, the rooms for improvement that we could potentially grow towards, new initiatives that we are rolling out, like the Ag Ed for All, and working towards our diversity, equity, and inclusion platforms, and really getting a solid grasp of that before doing about a week-long interview process. So I had about 7 rounds, I believe 7 to 8 rounds to run for national office.
7 or 8 rounds.
Yes, sir. We had a variety of different rounds, whether that was video rounds. We had one-on-ones with each member of the nominating committee. We had 2 rounds where it was us with the entire nominating committee. We did speeches. We did roundtable discussions in current agricultural issues and topics. We did a media round that was similar to what I'm doing now. And we did some personal rounds and facilitation rounds and a lot of different competencies to really discover where we best shine and where we could fit in a team. And 3 days later, yeah.
So you're majoring in what? Ag communications at the University of Arkansas. And so, I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing you want to do for a career. So tell me, over the next year or so, I mean, what are you going to be doing within FFA? What do they have you do as a national officer?
Yeah. So over the next year, we'll be informing, motivating, and inspiring FFA members and stakeholders, sponsors, and teachers. I think that's kind of the main cornerstone of what we do as national officers. And a lot of people think it is that member relationship, and it really is. But it's also looking at our sponsorships and working with our foundation to be that brand of the National FFA Organization and to represent our values and our traditions and our ways of life to everyone, not just within our community, but nationally and hopefully internationally as well. So what will that look like in a virtual world? That'll look like a lot of Zoom meetings initially. I'm doing a Zoom meeting tomorrow, and we're doing a little bit of a speech and encouraging folks, and that will look like that for a while. But hopefully we'll get to travel a little bit, interact with members, carry out our values and our missions personally, but also those of the organization, and to make a positive difference in the lives of our students, which is, I think, what we're all here to do.
Now, you and I were discussing earlier, you're not a farm girl, like living on the farm, but your dad's been involved in agriculture. Tell us a little bit about that and how that may have influenced you.
Absolutely. It has influenced me a lot. My dad and I have a really special bond, and he is a main reason why I got into the organization. And so he grew up working on a dairy farm and have a lot of cool stories that I heard about it. My dad and my mom, whenever they got married, they centered the time of their wedding around milking times, because that's just what you did as a dairy farmer. And so that tradition is a main reason why I'm here, and holding true to those traditions, whether that be in our national life, that like we talk about in our FFA creed, and just my personal traditions as well. And so he's an ag teacher, and I grew up as a little girl wanting to be an FFA member so bad and wear high heels and have my own jacket and do all the grown-up things. And so that was the main reason I joined the organization, and I fell in love there. I fell in love with why we do what we do, our values. And I think that the reason our organization is so strong is because we've been able to articulate those values for a long, long time, and people still believe in them too. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to continue living out those values and inspiring people to fall in love with the organization that I fell in love with.
Well, she is Anna Mathis, and I guarantee you, your parents are proud of you. We're proud of you from Farm Bureau. The FFA people are proud of you, and Boone County's proud of you up in the Harrison area where you grew up. Thank you so much for spending time with us on this special edition of Arkansas AgCast.
Thank you, Greg. I'm honored to be here.